Hello everyone, I'm Ixical. In this episode, I'm going to build a school right here. It's going to be a fairly small school, perhaps the beginning of a larger campus. In my last episode, I built 2 houses over here, look. If you want to, you can go check the video after you've watched this one. And in this creative landscape, I've built loads of little things, including a slime shop, bakery and cat pet store, and a lovely hot pot restaurant by the lake. It's my intention to expand this little place to be an amazing little town. Not really a metropolis, but I do want to have a fairly decent looking town. So let's start this episode by chiseling away at this grass block which I left here as a place marker. It's a fairly time-consuming operation, but I want to make sure it looks good. At the minute, I'm happy with those columns. It's kind of like a concrete column, but I need to expand it a little bit more so I can get behind the truck. I'm not going to remove these things once I've built them and I'm happy with them, so the town must evolve around this place. Things will change as people move in and things get done. There's not really any people living here, it's just me building something cool, and I really like it. So what I'm going for here is worn blocks around the whole thing, to kind of fit in with the 3 shops behind it. It's got to look fairly similar. I can't go too abstract with the design, otherwise it doesn't work at all. I do use quite a lot of mods for this build, and they're all in the description. I mostly focus on the Yuushya Mod and the Cocricot mod. The steps and the platform here are going to be for the entrance. That's the reception hall. I have to make sure there's a banister as well so the kids and the parents don't fall over. It's got to be nice and safe. And that's a simple stone barrier that you can get on the Yuushya mod. I think it looks okay. And this bit I'm chiseling out right now is going to be one of the areas for some of the classrooms. Again, there's not much space, but I'm going to work at it as best I can. This outdoor space on this balcony is going to be a basketball court when I get to it. But what I'm doing right now is making sure the school is fairly tall. I've found some inspiration pics for schools in Japan, and this one here looks similar to what I'm going for. The inspiration does take a bit of a back foot though. This is mostly my opinion of what a school might look like. It's going to be 3 floors, one underneath where the basketball court's going to be, one in the middle, and then one at the top. If you go higher than 3 floors, it does get very complex. So I'm trying to limit my builds to be about 20 minutes long so it doesn't get too boring or complex. I'll make sure to add a safety banister on the outside and one on the inside that accesses the basketball court. Once I've finished the banisters, I'm going to add a doorway to get to the reception. That's the main entrance really. And then I'll use standard asphalt for the basketball court. I'll leave the basketball court for now and finish off sizing the school to be about the same proportions as the shops below. It's going to be a little bit taller, just like in the inspiration pic, but it's not going to be overwhelming. I don't want to make it absolutely massive. It's not going to be a horrendous structure on the side of my city here. Absolutely not. Once I've finished the roof, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to start chiseling out some windows. The school's going to have lots of windows because it needs natural light during the day, doesn't it? A few schools in England are built where factories used to be in the war, and they always had massive windows to let the light in during the day. I'm quite happy with the amount of windows I've got. It looks decent. So now I'm going to work on putting a stairwell into the 3rd floor. Here it gets a bit tricky because I've got to chisel out all the dirt under the basketball court. I won't bore you with all the details, I'll just show you some of the action. Look, I left that light there as well. It's completely unnecessary, but I need it so I don't get stuck in the dark. Once all that's chiseled away, I have a nice space underneath. Now I'll pop some more window spaces in, make sure to measure it properly so it fits on both sides. A little bit of symmetry is always good in my builds, I feel. Now I'm going to work on adding the ceiling to this floor, and then I'll make sure to add the oak paneling on the bottom floor. The area at the back there is going to be for a library space. Oh, don't forget the drains. I always need the drains and the AC units around the back. Now I can start working on the basketball court. It's not the biggest basketball court in the world, but it's for kids, you know? I guess they're kids going here. That's a simple fence available on a Yuushya mod, and these basketball hoops, simply one on either side. You know what? I'm going to add some asphalt to make it nicely lined. The yellow one in the middle, and a box around each of the basketball hoops. That's where you can shoot to score the baskets. That's really good. I'm quite happy with that once it's finished. I also need a marker in the middle, so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a vinyl record and just kind of bury it in the ground a bit. I'll add a few lights to the outdoor area, because you know, people want to play basketball at night, don't they? A little exit sign, and that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to start working on glazing the entire place. Glazing is a word for windows, really. I'm just going to put all the windows in. And for this build, I'm going to use the oak windows from the Yuushya mods. I said in my last video you can use Windows 1 and Windows 2 in order to separate them. Then I'll go around the whole thing and frame all of the windows. This is actually a painstaking part of the build, but I think it's a necessary process. You see that corner one? That's going to be for a reception area. Around the back, I'll add some window frames on the bottom as well. I'll make sure everything's nicely lined up. And that's pretty much my window frames done for now. I still have to fix them, there's a few missing, but once it's done, I'll add the roof. Similar to the previous structure, that's where the 3 shops are. It's going to look fairly similar, except it's built with stone. See, those things are, I guess, the light fixtures or something that's on the roof. I don't know what they are, tell me in the comments. Outside, I'll build an awning and put some more lights up, and then I can start chiseling away at the insides. This bit's the reception area. This bit's going to be a hallway down to the basketball court, and now I'm going to have a nice corridor all the way between the reception area and some of the classrooms. There's going to be 1 classroom on this floor, I think. That looks pretty good. It's a nice big area. I'm basically switching between the first floor, second floor, and the basement, making sure everything's nicely chiseled out and looking decent. This is the basketball stairway, and that's the reception hall. I won't forget to add a safety banister on both of the staircases, one there and one here. And underneath, look, the basketball court is showing through, so I need to change the size of these windows in order to have more flooring underneath to hide it. So I'll go back into the basement floor, finish off the ceiling, and then add a divider here for a really large classroom with some lights. And then here is going to be another space for a manager's office and sort of a waiting room if you want to talk to the principal. Heading to the end of the corridor at the bottom, I'm going to build myself a nice library space. I want to have this as sort of a staff room, common room, or an area where people can go and get some books. Lots of sofas and bookcases are going to be here. It looks very busy, and I like the carpets and different choices you get with the Yuushya Mod. Have a few plants over here and a nice welcome mat too. I think this is a pretty good library so far. Now I'm going to add a few extra details like a sitting area and some plants by the windows. It's always nice to beautify the ceiling with some hanging flowers, I think. That's looking really interesting with a globe in the corner. It's exactly like a library at a school, I think. It's more like a staff room though. After I've hung up some paintings and added a few more details, the staff room is complete. And I think it looks absolutely brilliant. Let me know in the comments how you feel about my library/staff room. It's done. AC units up, so now I can start working on the principal's office. The idea of this office is basically for the teacher, the only one that works here, to have a sort of private office space so they can get some lesson plans done, maybe plan their next lesson. Lots of details in here, computers, notes, anything that the teacher who works here is going to need. Some kind of alarm clock on the table, and then I'll add a little guitar as well, because this is the music principal teacher. I don't even know. Put some more paintings up, little albums, and that's it. That's his certificates as well, isn't it? This is the waiting area in front of the principal's office, I guess for naughty students. So I want to put in a nice big aquarium and decorate it with a few chairs. Here I'm going to add some nice interesting decoration to the hallway. This is just outside the waiting room and the principal's office. I'll have a classroom desk there, why not? Looks fairly good now. And this is one of the classrooms on the bottom floor. It's the biggest classroom in the school, and it has occupancy for maybe 20 students. I've just put in the blackboards up and a few details near the window, and then I'm going to start adding some tables and chairs. Plenty of tables and chairs from the Yuushya Mod. I really like those classroom desks. They're absolutely brilliant. Not too much detail, to be honest. I just want to put in classroom desks, make it fairly full. Here's an angle from the other side. You can see the posters going up on the wall. I think it's pretty interesting. This is the social studies classroom. Maybe there's a few paintings of cakes and stuff, so maybe it's a cooking room. It looks really good when it's done. Here's a corridor between the principal's office and the classroom. I want to put a few bookcases there. There's no space for a classroom down here now. It's pretty much done. I think it looks great. Upstairs, I'm going to work on the reception area. This reception area is where you can basically sign into the school. It's a fairly prestigious school because there's not many students that go here. It's not a massive school. This reception area is basically where the receptionist looks at their laptops and deals with different things like admissions and making sure the parents know exactly where to send their kids in the morning. I'll hang some clothes in the window. That's the school uniforms, I guess. And then I'll start adding some welcome mats and making it nicely decorated in the reception area. One thing I'm not going to forget is a cash register. I think it's important to have that because people need to pay for this school. It's expensive. Usually in my builds, I forget the toilets. So I don't want to this time. I'll put a vent on the outside and make a boy and girl toilet. A very small toilet unit at that. It's not going to have so much detail. It's just a blue one for boys and a pink one for girls. That's good enough. Now near the basketball court and the toilets, I'm going to add 2 small classrooms. These are VIP classrooms, I guess. There's only 4 desks. And this particular room, I had the idea of it being a photography classroom. Because, you know, they're paying a lot of money to go here, so why not? I'll add a camera, make sure it's obviously a photo room, put some books on the table, and that's done. Now I'm going to hang some different decorations up on the stairwell near the basketball court. Nothing too complex, but it's definitely like a luxury school, isn't it? I think this looks really good so far. Right now I'm just adding some decorations to the walls, some notes, some paintings, making sure it's nicely decorated all throughout the corridors. Now above the bathrooms, you can see that pink and blue one. I'm going to have another classroom here. I'm going to work on this one as well. This is on the 3rd floor. There's only 6 tables in this one, so again, it's a bit of a VIP classroom. Plenty of books in there. This is an English literature classroom. And this one at the side here is also some kind of VIP classroom. I guess this is a science classroom, but I didn't put any flasks up. I don't know, that's pretty good. One of the final classrooms I'm going to deal with upstairs is another reading classroom. This is the English classroom, why not? I think it's an absolutely brilliant build so far. You'll have to let me know in the comments how you feel about my build. Also, you can subscribe, that would never hurt, would it? One thing I wanted to have on my school was a sign. So I found a mod called Alphase Alphabet, and I started putting the words Tanaka High on the side. I like the sound of that, it sounds kind of funny. Here you can see all the different letter choices. There's loads. It's a really good mod and I totally recommend it. I added some green patchwork half slabs behind it and now it really stands out. Right now I'm showing you exactly how I use the GUI tool. You can select different objects and then basically change their X position, Y position, Z position, and then rotate them and scale them if you need to as well. It's an incredibly powerful tool, this GUI thing with the Yuushya Mod. I recommend using this even for just normal Minecraft builds. It's absolutely incredible and really powerful. If I was playing Minecraft and I had absolutely no concerns with recording videos for YouTube, I would use that alphabet mod, but I also have to use replay mod in order to show you guys what I've built. And when I press play, this happened. And it's a very peculiar blue hue, telling me to reload the resource pack. What's gone wrong? Apparently the alphabet mod does not want to work with the Yuushya mod in replay mode. So sadly I had to remove the letters on the side of the school. I'll fix that later. After that complete disaster, I started building a parking lot but forgot to record it. So here's the area for the cars outside the school. I'm going to start building that now to show you exactly what I was doing. It's a simple parking lot with a fence around it, just a couple of blocks high. A security camera on the side which has no power at the minute. That's something I'm also thinking about. I'll add a nice blue and white car and a black one there as well. This parking lot has the principal's car. They're already at the school working, aren't they? I'll put some mopeds in and a little cone. I'll make sure the parking lot is nicely detailed with things parking lots have, including trash cans and a shopping cart. There's always a shopping cart in a parking lot, isn't there? This looks really good. I'm happy with that, so I'll add a few lights up, make sure it's nicely lit up overnight, and then I'll finalize the car park by adding one of those warning barriers. I wanted to put some letters on this saying 2 meters high only, you know, just big enough for cars, but it doesn't really work. So instead I'll put a warning sign there from the Yuushya mod. Now I'm going to add some power cables between the parking lot. The security camera needs some power. I'll use these very simple units in the Yuushya Mod to allow the wires to hang down. The restaurant is also powered but has no electricity. So you know what? I'm going to add a few cables to that as well. This little area on the side of the road is going to be for a power box. I don't know what they are. It's like a utility box for electric. It's going to be a nice little area that nobody can access except for the engineers and maintenance staff who want to go there and fix the power. That's me. I'll put in a McCaw's door and then sink it back into the fence with the Yuushya Mod tool. For that, I had to split it into a lower half and an upper half and then stick them together. Now I'm going to add a nice power box, some kind of unit thing, some grills, and I'll also add a wire going to this one as well. The power's going to reach my houses too. All of the power has to connect the town together. It looks hideous, but tell me a town that doesn't have hanging wires and I will give you no money because I don't have any. Once that power relay box is finished, I'm quite happy with it. I'm going to add a few warning signs. You know, it's electric. There isn't an electric symbol for that, so never mind. That's the power unit finished, and I'm very happy with that. So back at the school, I've added some simple symbols which say, I don't know what it says Tanaka High. And then I'll fix it up with some wires and make sure everything looks decent with the cabling. Back at the school, I really don't want to give in with the Tanaka High logo, so I put these ones on it instead. It's fairly simple and quick to do. I could use blocks of various sizes to make the letters and then resize them with the Yuushya Mod, but I'll be there forever. So instead, I'll put those symbols up and make it look nice and simple. I'm very happy with that, even though it doesn't say what I wanted it to say. It is Tanaka High, that's what it's called. Now that my school is finished in this episode, let's go take a tour of what I've built so far. I'm heading down the street here. I want to cross the road, but it's not safe. It's not safe, I need to use the crossing. Let me just stop here and show you real quick my shops. I think they look really good. Cross the road safely because that car's waiting. It's not going to go, is it? Around the side of the school, you can see all the little details I've added, like the windows and the signs. It's a pretty good school. It's not big enough really, but you know, it's fairly safe. This crossing looks wrong. Should I change that? Maybe no, I'll leave it for now. Let's head up the stairs and see what's inside. As you go in the main entrance, you can see the reception area. This looks really good, lots of details going on. Here's the stairwell to the bottom floor. Nice principal's office and waiting area. Everything's in there for the principal. That's pretty good. And here's the waiting room for the naughty students and a small corridor connecting the two. That's a good corridor. Here's the largest classroom in the school for all the students who want to go here. Going past this corridor, we can see the library space, little globe in the corner, and that's pretty good. That's more of a staff room for the one member of staff who works here. I'm very happy with that. Right, let's go upstairs. I'm going to run, dash up the stairs, through this little waiting area, back into the reception hall, round the side here. There's the boys' bathroom, girls' bathroom, and then I'll go check out the basketball real quick. Nicely detailed here with a little air vent and exit sign. Let's go back in and check this photography room. That looks nice. Simple classroom for VIP students, why not? Heading up these stairs, we can see a corridor and another classroom for literature students, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want it to be. Going through this corridor, you can see another classroom, 6 tables in there, and another classroom with 4 tables in there. Going back through the corridor and down the stairs, I'm going to check out the reception area one more time and then head on out. I'm back in creative mode, so I'm going to fly around a bit. Yeah, there we go. That looks good with the parking lot, doesn't it? This build's been absolutely brilliant to make. I'm just going to fly over and show you the signs. I really hope you've enjoyed watching this video. It's been absolutely fun to build, I'm telling you. In my next episode, I plan on making a more luxury house in the area on the other side of the Hot Pot Lake. Someone suggested I make a house with a backyard. I've been thinking that for a while actually, so I'm going to do that. I'm just going to fly over and show you exactly where I want to build it. Here. I'm going to put a warning sign up. That is where I'm going to build my next house. Like, comment, and subscribe if you've liked this video. I'm Ixical, and I'll see you next time.